Hi, everybody. I wanted to get back to the question and answer session. Thank you for signing in. I will have another session later on around 2 o'clock. So if you have any other questions, feel free to put them on the Facebook page, or you can always sign into the YouTube Theory Generator Playground channel and just add them right there. So I have a list of things that came up. Number one that people were really concerned about is, will there be parking? So luckily, this event is being hosted on the USC campus, and the dental school has a variety of spaces available there. There is a parking lot directly in front of the building that's hosting the event, and we'd really like to reserve that space for people who have limitations or it's difficult for them to walk far. But you can buy parking there all day. There are also meters available on the same street that you would turn down and park to access the dental building. So there's lots of metered parking. There's also parking in the community. So if you don't want to pay a parking fee, you can certainly get there, and if you're willing to walk a couple of blocks, you can access parking. We're going to be uploading maps to the Facebook page for the symposium. So if you need specific directions or a map is helpful to you, then that will be available. We would recommend that you leave a little early because there's a lot of protests scheduled, and especially if you're coming from the northern parts of Los Angeles, so you have to go through downtown or interact at all with the 110 freeway, it's probably a good idea to give yourself some extra time. Okay, question number 2. If I'm running late because I have class, can I still come to the resource fair? Absolutely. We would love to have you there, and we know that even on the weekends, we have class. People have lots of family and social scheduled conflicts, which is totally fine. What we are preparing for those people who aren't able to see the speakers or get a real strong introduction to all of the different projects we have going on right now in Los Angeles is we're going to be creating these resource lists that will be available when you get there. So anything that you may have missed, you'll be able to find on the resource list. There'll be some information about the organization, the types of volunteering that they have available for you, and then important contact information. So even if you're not able to come to the entire fair and you get there at 11:30 and you just have that last half an hour, you should still be able to get some important information if you're really looking to do some service work. So yeah, feel free to come by. Can undergrads participate? That was a good question. So the Schweitzer Fellowship itself is really focused on graduate students. I don't believe they accept undergrads, but as an undergrad, it's often helpful, especially in your first couple of years, to get a sense of your career trajectory. So if you're thinking about being in health services, you want to be a physician, you want to be a nurse practitioner, you want to be a therapist, it's good to have in mind what opportunities are open and available to you as you go through those steps, because all of these programs are relatively long programs, and it's important to find ways to stay connected to the communities that really encouraged you to seek out that particular field in the first place. So in any case, we love to have undergrads there. Last year, we had high school students as well who came to hear a little bit more about all of these different opportunities working in health services. Sometimes people have only been exposed to the medical school option, and they're unaware of everything that occupational therapy, for example, has to offer them. So it's a really great place to interact with people who've been through it, and who can talk to you about making sure that you stay not only focused in school, but really centered as a person, which is one of the reasons we do this community work. So yes, please, absolutely. Will this affect my chances of being selected as an Albert Schweitzer Fellow? So this particular symposium is not a recruitment fair. We do have meetings that are specifically geared toward providing information, making sure people who think they might apply are interested in what it is that we're trying to accomplish, and that it really lines up with their personal goals. That's not what this symposium is about. But I will say that you have essentially unrestricted access to all of the current fellows. And so you can talk to them about the realities of being involved in something like this. Realistically, how does it work with them? We're all from a variety of backgrounds, so you can really be very specific and targeted in your questions, which might be helpful. Because I always think that you should be interviewing a position and they should be interviewing you. You got to make sure that it's kind of a dual match. So this gives you a chance to really hear firsthand whether or not it seems like it's going to make sense for you. The fellows often are the ones who are doing the interviewing. So I'm sure it's not the end of the world if you meet somebody and you get a little comfortable with them and ultimately they're at your interview. That's probably beneficial, but it's not specifically designed to as a pre-interview or anything like that. One thing that I do know they like to see in applicants is a concept of what it is they want to do. So do you have an existing project that you would like to continue because it's meaningful to you and it fits in with your personal philosophy? Or do you have an idea of something you'd like to do that maybe has been done before, hasn't been done before, but you're trying to troubleshoot it and plan it? That isn't necessary. You absolutely can apply for the fellowship and have no idea what you want to do, just that you really want to help. But it is really nice to have something already kind of in mind. So this is a good place for you to talk to people in your area of interest. So if you want to work with the homeless population, you have like 4 people that you can go to directly and say, how did you develop your project? What are some good ideas? Or what's a good approach for me to do this? Or tell me about your project. I may want to just directly take over for you next year, and that's how I'm going to apply. So this is not an interview, and it's not intended to sway your ability to get into the program. But it is a fantastic opportunity to network. It's a great opportunity to figure out whether or not this is really for you and what you want to do, and a good use of your time and the fellowship resources. But it's also a great way to get some creative ideas and some solid feedback about your plans. We do have a table that's going to be staffed full-time by at least one fellow who is specifically intending to answer these sorts of questions. So aside and apart from the symposium, somebody there who's really happy to talk to you about the application process. And actually our coordinator will be there as well, and she is amazing, Rebecca Bravo. So you can certainly ask her questions about the fellowship. I think that's all we have for now. I will check and see what came in on the Facebook page, and I will come back in at 2 o'clock. So feel free to add questions, even if I'm not there. They will read on the stream. And also please visit the Facebook page so that you see all the latest information and the maps and everything else that we have posted for you to make sure that your trip to and your time at the symposium is comfortable and you can really enjoy it. All right. Thanks for signing in.